This episode is brought to you by NBA on Prime. This Tuesday at 8:30 Eastern, it's the Emirates NBA Cup Championship game on Prime. This year's quest for the Cup has been building to this, the championship game, live from Las Vegas. Not a Prime member? Sign up for a 30-day free trial to get started today. The Emirates NBA Cup Championship game, this Tuesday at 8:30 Eastern, only on Prime. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details.
Jason, Disney asked me to do this podcast thing. I need some advice.
You've got to have banger guests.
Walker and Leah.
Daniel Deemer.
Tim Simon.
Adam Copeland.
You're the one asking the questions.
How? Why?
And they better answer.
I don't know anything.
Epic.
This season is just makeup.
Quest.
I'm Arian Samhadri. Welcome to the Percy Jackson and the Olympians official podcast.
Available wherever you get your podcasts. And watch season 2 of Percy Jackson streaming now on Disney Plus and Hulu. Learn more at disneyplus.com/what's on.
Kraft Mac and Cheese is better than 90s hip-hop. We'll remind you of your childhood without making you feel incredibly old. Kraft Mac and Cheese. Best thing ever.
Hello and welcome everybody to What's Your Issues First bonus episode. Woo, woo. Hi, Troy.
Hi, Dara. How are you?
I'm great because we're doing our first bonus episode. Isn't that fun?
I know. This is like the first of many to come.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to be dropping lots of bonus episodes on the main feed of stuff that we don't always have time to cover in a main feed episode. Some fun, like the quizzes, the fun articles.
Yeah, or if we just are feeling frisky and, who knows what kind of creativity we could come up with in these bonus episodes. It's kind of just, it's the bonus episodes won't fall under the main feed format and anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Personally, I miss talking about advertisements, so I would love to at some point. I feel like we need to do some ad conversations in the bonus episodes for sure.
And, maybe we could all, I do love this. We did this on Patreon a while ago. What's your issue advice column?
That was so fun. Yeah, we got to do that again. Maybe, yeah, for sure. We have to do that.
Okay, we're going to do that. And I'm going to set up a Google form and I'll let you guys know where it is. And then you can send your questions and we will answer them.
Maybe now I hate to say this publicly because that means that we'll be held to it, but maybe it would be a fun thing to do for the holidays.
Oh,
right?
Ooh, I think that could be really fun.
We'll get in some jammies. We'll make some cocoa, put a little bourbon in it and, we'll go for it.
Yeah, so we'll do that. And if you have any ideas for bonus episodes, you can comment or you can put it in a letter to the editor, whatever you want. We'd love to hear your ideas.
Yeah, if there's stuff that you miss us talking about from our previous format.
We could also do, AMAs. People can ask us questions.
Yes. I love an AMA.
So, this is our first. We're just working it out, but we'll keep you updated.
Now, Dara, today, we're talking about something that is so extremely niche in both of our interests and has something we've discussed on this very show before, but we'll never stop discussing.
Well, so this is a bit of an encore to the Nancy Jo Sales, Nancy Jovember, which I don't think we ever called it, but
no. My first time hearing you say that. Keep going.
Sure, yeah, it's the first time it's ever passed my lips. But we had this article, but we didn't get to it. Part of the reason was we have talked about Playboy and all of that before a lot. And so there's only 4 weeks in November for articles to choose from. So we didn't cover this article, but we said, we can't just leave it out to pasture. So we're going to be talking about the Nancy Jo Sales article, Hugh Hefner's Roaring 70s.
Also photographed by David LaChapelle. Personally, one of my favorite like Playboy centric photos.
Oh,
I love this photo shoot. They're doing like a pillow fight on Hef's bed, and it's just like one of those classic David LaChapelle images where everything is like in motion and everything is like alive and there's feathers everywhere and Hef is like actually like doing his real laugh. Like it's a really great photo.
it's a great photo. It's from March 2001. And just to put it into context, this is pre-Holly. This is pre-Bridget. It's so 2001. In 1985, he had a stroke, Hef had a stroke, and it kind of forced him to slow down a little bit. And he gets married to Kimberly Hefner. And they have 2 children. And for like most of the 90s, pretty much all of the 90s, everything calms down in the mansion. Kimberly kind of like puts the mansion on lockdown where it's about the kids and, you know, there's not a million girls running around. But then they break up and he starts bringing in the multiple girls. At this point, we're kind of in like the second round of girlfriends. So like Playboy has been on a downswing since the 80s. It just gets worse and worse as porn becomes more mainstream and more accessible. It cuts into the profits. But then when Hef comes back and he brings around the multiple girlfriends and they start, you know, they're going out to clubs and getting their picture taken, the next generation's sort of discovering Hugh Hefner and, you know, getting into Playboy, which kicks off the sort of new era of Playboy.
It's like what I refer to as, it's like Playboy's MTV era.
Oh, that's a great way to put it. Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yes.
like they were like, it was like a part of like that kind of like real pop culture.
Yes.
And like the spectacle, you know, he like had leaned really heavily into like the spectacle of all the girlfriends, like such a mass number of girlfriends, you know?
Mm-hmm. And I mean, the thing with this article, I think it's such a great article to just read yourself because it's the first time we're hearing about all the sort of weird stuff that goes on in the mansion, but it's not really like drilled down on and delved into too deeply because the article is, I would say, mostly quotes from everyone. It's Nancy Joe in the world, in the mansion, and she's sort of telling the story through their own words. It's very evocative, but it's not her doing a ton of reporting. It's very classic sort of Nancy Joe, where she's not giving too much of an opinion. She's, you know, trying to keep it close to the vest, but the little asides and the way she's placing different revelations kind of gives a hint to what she's thinking. For instance, they talk about his daughter, Christy, who, you know, basically takes over the magazine as CEO and, you know, how much she does and, you know, how committed she is and everything. And then it just sort of has a little aside of and he's leaving the company to his 2 like child sons.
Yeah.
It's clearly Nancy Joe, but it's also a very different article than what she usually writes.
Well, I was trying to read this through the eyes of a person who like didn't watch didn't watch what went on in the mansion like on a reality show for years. Like,
yes,
you know, this is like that time during the time of like when any first-hand account of what happens in that mansion is like everybody wants to know, you know, and like we have these ideas as the public of what goes on there and we hear stories, but to us it's like just like this place where Jack Nicholson goes and like fucks women on yards and like Leonardo DiCaprio goes and smokes cigars and gets blowjobs in a grotto. Like to us it was like adult Willy Wonka. So I thought it was like really interesting to see Nancy's perspective of like his regular nights. Like now we know this stuff because Holly and Bridget have explained it in such detail for years and we watched it play out. But like even Manly Night, Like, I don't know if that was like a thing that people knew about, that he would like
No.
have the men over and they would play these card games, and they had like very traditional game nights all the time. And, you know, his sons come in during game nights. And I also don't think that any of us knew that like there were kids always there. Like, I had no idea until years later that there were children just running around the Playboy mansion all the time.
Oh yeah, I read an article recently about it was Jack Nicholson's daughter.
Of course.
And
all roads point back to Jack with Playboy.
It's a very new article. It's from the last couple of months, and she talks about her childhood at the mansion and she was hanging around there, especially in the 90s, because she was the same age as Hef's kids. So she was spending a lot of time with them, and also her mom and dad were fighting and I think kind of on the brink of divorce or whatever. So to her, Hef and Kimberly were like this stable couple in her life, which is funny.
Yeah, I've actually, I heard, I don't remember her name at the moment, but Holly and Bridget had their neighbor's daughter on, who as a child, do you know what I'm talking about? As a child, she would come over a lot, and she was like basically raised in the mansion, and talks about like how, they had like kids parties all the time, and Easter was for the children. Like, they had holidays that were specifically for kids, and on Christmas there'd be like all of the staff's children would be at the house opening presents. Like, but those weren't the things that we knew about the Playboy Mansion like in the 90s. So this was like, at the time, was probably mind blowing when it came out.
Yeah, because I also think that, it got so much weirder. Like, people were used to hearing about the stories of the 70s, the 60s and 70s. But that was also just like, that's the 70s, baby.
Yeah, we're all having pig parties.
Who among us hasn't been to a pig party or two?
Like, rode a woman's back like a donkey, right?
But it was like a next level of this sort of weird sexual proclivities. To your point earlier, it is interesting to read the article with the context, which I feel like we've talked about this before, that putting yourself into the context of when an article was written is really important. You really have to think that way when you're reading these old articles. And for Nancy Joe, this truly was like, she's discovering this. Like, she has no background to this very strange life where it's like, yeah, he runs this place like a summer camp. He has these old men around all the time. He eats the same things. I can only imagine what it was like to experience this with like no background.
I love when she describes, because there's some stuff that's so visceral. It's like, I feel like you can hear it, you can feel it, you can smell it, you can taste it. Like, like she describes the women all coming in to greet Hef, and like one by one they all go, "Hi, honey. Hi, honey." And we know what that sounds like. We've seen it. I was like, wow, like, it's just so interesting the way that the women get replaced, but there are just certain things that are like a part of the culture.
Yeah.
Like, even something as simple as that, of them all walking in saying, "Hi, honey," and taking their turn, kissing him on the cheek. Like, that feels so normal to us now. Well, me and you. I don't know how much everybody else thinks that that's normal, but like, it's like crazy to read about it in that context. And like with women that we're not as familiar with.
Right. Yeah, I think in general, I think this is a great article to read. It wasn't necessarily the best article to cover in a main feed episode because, we've already done the previous Playboy episodes, and, I feel like a lot of this stuff has been covered, but I do think it's so worth a read because of, I don't know, I feel like it's a very immersive article, and I feel like there's no new information for for people like us.
Mm-hmm.
But it is like a really great slice of life article.
Which at the end of the day is my favorite. I
Mm-hmm.
love a slice of life, sort of like expose about somebody. I feel like it's like the most timeless. Those are the articles I get the most lost in. Just hearing Nancy Jo be immersed in somebody's world and a fly on the wall and just explaining what she's seeing.
Yeah. And I mean, listen, we love a Playboy moment. I don't know if any of you have heard, Holly Madison did give us a shout out on her Patreon a few months ago.
It's wild to think that, because that was a very long episode.
Yeah.
Like, we really went. I mean, we probably recorded before it was edited for like 3 hours. Like,
yeah, it was legit 3 hours before it was edited.
We're on one, and it's so crazy to think that she sat and listened to us for like at least 2 hours talk about her is like so crazy.
Yeah, she liked that we said something like Playboy, the way Playboy feels like a fanzine for Hugh Hefner, but Hugh Hefner makes the magazine.
Yeah. Like, he truly is no different than when he was like a little boy making his own zine about himself. Mm-hmm. He just like grew up.
I mean, incredible. And something to aspire to that we could never achieve because we're not, a white man in 1950.
Yeah, we're not wealthy narcissists that can do such a thing.
Hopefully one day.
Yeah. Well, what do you know about, like, because these are the women that Holly writes about that bullied her when she got there, correct?
No, well, actually, yeah, it is.
Some of them, right? At least.
It's 2001. So when did this come out? Okay, so this came out in March 2001. And then so this was probably actually written in 2000, probably months before. And then Holly comes in, of course, 9/11 time. I think most of them are there when she arrives. Tiffany, Stephanie, Kathy, Katie, Buffy, Tina, and Regina. It's been so long since I went through the family tree of girlfriends. But
it's like Susie, Christine, Brittany, Tinky, Winky. The names are so, but no, it's so crazy to think, like, I don't know. These girls must have been so pissed that, like, if they had just figured out a way to stick it out for a little longer, they would have been like world known celebrities.
But here's the thing. I don't think they would have been, because I think at the end of the day, the reason why Holly and Bridget and Kendra worked, and I would actually put just like Holly and Bridget in this category because it's kind of like Kendra had her own special sauce that she was injecting, but Holly and Bridget had something similar, which is I feel like they could stick it out all of those years because they had the reverence for Playboy and because they had a lot more in common with Hef, and they had those like old-timey interests and things like that. Mm-hmm. That ultimately just made them better characters on TV, and I think just played better off of Hef. So I think if they had all stayed, I don't know that they would have like just automatically would have had the same success.
No, I agree. I mean, it's proven by when they tried to do it with other women. Like, it didn't work, and it wasn't, and like, Hef always had it in his mind that all these women are just replaceable bobbleheads.
Yeah.
Pun intended. But that wasn't true. Like, it did not work with other women. And I actually think that if they had, like, say, maybe the camera showed up earlier, or maybe some of the girls stayed, I think the show would have probably just been its original format, which was about Hef's life and these women just being talking nothings. Like, we may have not even learned their names.
Well, and I think on top of that, number one, I think having 3 girls allowed for them to, rise above and become the characters. So I think if there were 7 girls, like that just logistically wouldn't have worked. But I also think because Bridget and Holly were so into the lore of the magazine and had such reverence for it. Like, it allowed it to be a better show that felt like it meant more than just, this is Hef's life and like he's stooping these 20-year-olds. It's like, no, there's like a meatiness to this. There's like, this is nostalgic.
Like educational.
Yeah, educational. And I think if it were the other girls, like, even though they would have been told to play along in that way and be like, yes, this is, Hef is the most important person in the world and it's iconic and blah, 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 they would just be phoning it in.
That is such a good point. Like, Holly and Bridget made it. Maybe I'll catch up. But you know what I mean? Like, Holly and Bridget made it feel like they made this really overwhelming institution feel accessible to young people.
Yes.
And like, it felt like we had an in through them. Like,
yeah.
From the clothes to even just like their retelling of the history. Like, it was more interesting through their perspective than Hef's, for example.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather listen to Holly tell me about Hef's relationship with Marilyn Monroe than Hef talk about it. Like, it made it like entry level, but like still feel highbrow. Whereas those other women, I just like highly doubt that they had that kind of interest in Playboy. Like, it's a very like lightning, like once in a what's the saying?
Blue moon?
Blue moon, lifetime. Once in a blue moon kind of thing that you would find women that are so fanatical about it in that way.
Right. Yeah. Like, can you imagine the episode where he takes them into the archive room?
Oh my God. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And Holly and Bridget are like leaping for joy, like ready to sit for hours and talk about the pictures. Yeah.
And can go through the pictures and be like, oh, I know who this person is and that person is, and asking the right questions. Like, it just would have been Hef talking at girls rather than engaging in conversation, which in the long run worked out a lot more for him because it ended up making him look really good.
Yeah.
Whereas if he had just been with the previous girls, it would just be like, this is a lecherous man.
Yeah. Like, how do we edit around his abuse?
Exactly.
Sure. I wanted to ask you, do you think that Barbie Benton is the most, like, is she like the most prominent Hef girlfriend?
Like in fame?
Yeah, like in like if you take the show out of it, if you take Girls Next Door out of it, like in all of his girlfriends that have had like the biggest impact, I just feel like every woman talks about Barbie. Like,
well, yeah. I mean,
right?
Barbie was, I would say, like, Barbie was a household name back when they were together. I mean, I would say she's the most famous because also she was the girlfriend during the heyday. I mean, the heyday lasted like a while, but she takes him to Los Angeles. But then she's also so influential with what Playboy kind of becomes. Like, she like picked out the Playboy mansion,
right?
The LA one. And I think she was really smart. I think that they had a really good rapport.
Mm-hmm.
I think Hef really loved her.
I do too. I really do think that she may have been his actual favorite. I mean, even down to the, like you said, the house. Like, it's so crazy that like however many years later, like they would walk through that house and just everything was in Barbie's image. Every room still had her in it.
I also think that when you watch the Girls Next Door episodes with Barbie, like especially when they visit Barbie, like I feel like you can see the rapport between the two of them.
Yeah.
And I think with Hef, he really hated respecting a woman, but sometimes he just couldn't help it.
Yeah.
And I think Barbie was someone I think he had the close to respect for, which I also think Holly was one of those girlfriends for him.
Me too.
Closest to a partnership, even though he could never truly be in a partnership, but like personality wise.
I agree, and I know, and I've watched Holly's rewatch, and I know that it was, I know that the editors like had a lot of fun with like trying to turn Barbie versus Holly into a thing.
Yeah.
I get that, but there is an undeniable tension there, and I do think that it comes from what you just said. Like, I think that they recognize in each other that they penetrated a side of him that a lot of women didn't. And it's like they saw that in each other. It was like cats looking at each other.
Yes.
And being like, like there's just something about those two specifically that had a really like a much more interesting relationship with him. And also, like you said, I mean, she to me, when I think of like the real Playboy heyday, like the real roaring 70s Playboy, I think of her. Like, she is the girlfriend in my head.
Yeah. Yeah, and she was legitimately famous, and she was on Playboy After Dark and stuff, which I did want to talk about this, and Playboy After Dark made me think of it is I saw Sabrina Carpenter's Short and Sweet tour.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about this.
And I loved it so much. And I feel like Sabrina is truly one of us because you can just see how reverent she is of culture. And there was so much Playboy in there to the point where she basically does Playboy After Dark. They have like a little like interstitial video where it's like the elevator going up to the penthouse, which is they did that in Playboy.
Yeah.
And it looked the same. And then she does like there's a whole sequence where it's very Playboy After Dark. And all I could think of was she would be so perfect being on that show back in the day. Like, in the living room with Hef, like
dancing,
like, oh, Hef.
Yeah, like holding a skinny microphone. Yeah, for sure. Like her and like Sharon Tate, like clinking glasses, like for sure.
Like truly. There was also a portion where it was like 2000s Playboy, and she's on a round bed, and there's like all the other girls are there, and they have like the little, like pink outfits, and they're all in the bed together and like pawing at each other, and then you can see them. They show them from the top, like all in bed together. It's just girls next door.
God, is she not Hef's ideal image of a woman? Is she not she is the girl next door. She is the Playboy girl.
She is the Playboy girl.
Wow.
I mean, it was great, and I walked in a fan. I walked out a bigger fan. Yeah.
She does just get it. You can tell that her only friends are gays.
100 millennial gays.
Yeah, for sure. And all of the queens that I've heard talk about her, like, all the queens I've heard talk about even like working with her with the VMAs and stuff, have all said that she is like hands down the nicest famous person that they've met, and that like it's all that you want it to be, and like she treats her staff really well, and I'm just so team her at this moment in my life. I love her.
Me too. And yeah, just watching the show, it was so interesting because I mean there were people my age, most of them had children with them, but not all. And I was watching it and I was like, wow, it's so interesting how like through every little sequence, I was picking out some, at this point, very niche references, like visual references and stuff. And it was so interesting watching these young girls losing their mind. And it's like, oh, you have no idea that this is referencing Playboy After Dark, or, or this is a quick little thing from Rocky Horror.
You know what's so refreshing about her is that she's not only inspired by the early 2000s. Is like that's it. It's like her references go to the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. Like her VMAs thing was so 80s. Like she just loves
yeah.
culture.
And this was spanning this, like it all felt in the same world, but it was definitely referencing all different decades. There was a lot of like erotic thriller, like 80s erotic thriller kind of vibe.
Excuse me?
Oh yeah. What's the movie with Melanie Griffith as Holly Body? Body Double.
Body Double, yeah. Wow.
It felt very Body Double, like we're in the apartment, and like it was definitely for kids, but there was also at points like a little bit of a darker vibe.
God, I would love to just sit and talk to her about pop culture, like about like stuff that people just don't even know to ask her, like her favorite erotic thrillers. I want to ask her about magazine covers that she loves. Like, I want to ask her about her, like even the fact that at that, I don't remember which award show it was, maybe the Grammys, where she did that Goldie Hawn thing. It was like, she did the Goldie thing where she like pretended to be having all these flubs on stage.
Oh my God, yes.
With the stairs, and then she fell. I mean, it was just, it's like, oh my God, like, oh, the girls could learn a thing or two about just like referencing and how to reference, but not be like, but to still have an identity, you know?
Yes. And it was like, I don't know, it was Rachel Zoe, you know, it was,
yes,
we are referencing other periods of fashion and influenced by it, but it is all funneled through a personal lens.
We sound like that clip of Sandra Bernhard where she's like, I am giving 90s. I am giving Andre Leon Talley, darling.
Yeah.
I am giving the 90s, but doing the 50s, but in reference to the 40s.
Yes.
It makes me honestly think, like, I'm surprised that Playboy never did end up getting like more into like the music industry. Like,
well, they had Playboy Records.
Oh,
and
I don't even think I knew about that.
And Barbie, Barbie was a part of that. Barbie
Playboy
tried.
Did they have like artists?
Yeah. Barbie was a singer and actress and released several albums on Playboy Records in the mid-70s.
Oh my God. That is so crazy. I was just talking out of my ass. I had no idea that they started a record label.
Yep, Playboy Records.
Wow.
I mean,
it makes complete sense.
I don't know if I've ever I can't believe this. I don't know that I've ever listened to Barbie's stuff.
Oh, we got to do that.
We do.
We have, and we'll do that for Christmas. Holy shit. Founded in 1949 and then defunct in 78. So it was around for a while. That's crazy. Wow. The more you know.
You know? God, Troy, I mean, I guess this is our bonus episode.
This was so fun. I'm so happy we did this. And this was like perfect for this. It wouldn't have worked as a main feed episode, but like we did need to discuss this because it's, you know, it's Nancy Joe.
It's Nancy Joe. It's Playboy. It's our two interests joined in holy matrimony. Listen to the main feed if you haven't. Let us know if there are other bonus episode ideas that you have, and we'll see you next week.
We love you so much. Bye.
We love you. Bye.